Hi, and welcome to MQW Driving School YouTube channel. We're back again with another video to help ADIs and PDIs to understand how the standard check test indicators and trigger works. My name is Mir Qasim. I'm audit trainer. I'm based in Leeds. I can see that a lot of ADIs and PDIs are worried about this standard check test, and they're worried about the trigger points that they're gonna call out for standard check test, but they don't know what is the way for DVSA to check on them and how these indicators and triggers work. So today I'm going to explain to you these indicators and trigger points. So before we start, what DVSA monitor means. The DVSA and Vehicle Standards Agency monitor 4 indicators about the approved driving instructor, not about the PDIs. So think about it. Why are you taking your badge away from the car when you're sending your clients? You are a PDI, not AGI. So this standard check is not for you. You have to do part 3 test, not the standard check test. So when you don't leave your badge, you're telling the examiner like a silent way, my student is not ready, I don't believe him, so you can fail him. So think about it. Leave the badge. It doesn't going to make no difference to you guys. Everybody have to do the standard check test after passing the part 3, after at least 12 months of passing the part 3. So leave your badge inside the car. That is your identity. The indicator used data from the driving in test your pupil have taken in the last 12 months on rolling basis. The data is for pupil you brought for a car driving test where your ADI badge certificate was in the windscreen. It will include every driving test center you are used. Doesn't matter which test center you go. So DVSA record your ADI number from your badge at the start of the driving test, and this link the test for you. There are trigger points for each of the 4 indicators. So trigger point, 4 indicators, like in 4 hints. If you reach the trigger point for 3 or more of the indicator, then DVSA will write to ask you to book the standard check. So what the indicators are? Let's understand this point first. DVSA look at this data for the rolling 12 months period. The average number of the driving fault per test, average numbers. Then average number of the serious fault per test. Then percentage of test where the driving examiner had to take the physical action, like a dangerous fault, in the interest of the public safety. And then 4 indicator, number 4th, overall pass rate of your all 12 months rolling period. So what the trigger points are? Each of the 4 indicators have a trigger points. So 4 indicators can trigger it. Indicators and triggers. Trigger, like indicator is one thing, trigger is one thing. Indicator is like a name. So average number of driving fault per test. Trigger point is if you got 6 or greater number, then you will get trigger. Average number of the serious fault per test, 0.55 or greater than 0.55, then you trigger. Percentage of driving test where the examiner have to take the physical action, 10% or higher, then you trigger. Or overall driving test pass rate is 55% or lower, then it trigger. If you reach the trigger point of 3 or more of the indicators, DVSA will write to ask you to book your standard check test. Standard check test is for ADIs after passing the part 3, not for the PDI. So PDI can leave the badge inside. If you are willing to take some client on the jobs for the driving test, they are paying you for your badge. Otherwise they can go with anybody. So leave your badge inside. Why are you worried of? Everybody have to go to the standard check. It's not going to stop your standard check. So think that way. Don't need to worry about leaving your badge away. But when you leave the badge away out of the windscreen, that is a hint your client is not ready for the test because you don't believe them. So if you reach the trigger point of fewer than 3 of the indicators, you are less likely to be asked for the standard check. But it does not mean you don't have to do it. Everybody have to do it once in 4 years. But they're backlog now, but after the backlog is finished, hopefully, then there is a chance everybody go on the time. However, you might still be asked to book a standard check test during each 4-year registration, like each batch is valid for 4 years. So in that 4-year time period, once in 4 years or after completing the 4 year, one time you will go. You can request the report from the DVSA to show your data, so you already know where you stand after every 12 months, and then you know that you're more likely to be called out for the standard check. Or you can make the Excel sheet at home and record everything, every result of your driving test you do, and that way you know how many minors my client did, how many serious my client did, how many times the examiner took the action, and what is my pass rate, like how many clients I have taken to the test, what is the pass rate. So you can make your own records. So for example, if you bring less than 5 people for the driving test, or you normally don't teach the learners, and you are fleet instructor or your instructor trainer and you don't normally teach the learners, and then you can think, oh, you have less data for them to understand your standard check rates. Then indicators are used if you bring more than 5 clients in the 12 months period, then you can have the ratio. But if you do less than 5 clients, then think about that same way, that after every 4 years and in between the 4-year time period, you still go for the standard check test. So we're going to talk about the examples of how indicators work now. Example, no trigger met, standard check is not triggered. So that is the ideal situation, good instructor, good pass rate. For example, you took your pupil for 30 tests throughout the 12 months period. Across all the 30 tests, your pupil made a combined total of 135 driving minor faults. This is the average 4.5 per test. So that means 135 divided by 30 tests. So total 135 tests, total 30 tests, and then 135 total faults. So total fault divided by total test. So average 4.5 per test. I'm going to show you this over here. So if I say something wrong, just look on the thing and then do it, because I'm reading and doing it together. Then across all 30 tests, your pupil made a combined 13 serious fault. So this is an average of 0.43% per test. So 13 fault divided by 30 tests. Across all 30 tests, the examiner only took the action in the 2 tests. So that is 2 divided by 30 tests multiplied by 100. So that is 6.67% overall for that one. So in total, 17 of the 13 tests are passes and 13 were failed. This is a pass rate called 56.67. So 17 divided by 30 multiplied by 100. So that's a percentage. You will not need to take a standard check because none of the 4 triggers had been met. Because from all the columns, like a minor fault, serious fault, dangerous fault, and full overall pass rate, nothing triggered. All the indicators are in the right places, which prove you are doing your job properly. That is the ideal scenario, but still within the 4 period, in every batch, you still have to maybe go one time for standard check. But because you're doing very good, you will maybe call out a bit late, okay, or maybe skip one for some time. Now example number 1, different example, trigger met. So now trigger met, standard check is not triggered. 1 trigger met, only 1 out of 4, 1 met, not all 4. You took the pupil for 30 tests throughout the 12 months period. Across all 30 tests, your pupil made about 130 driving faults. That make you 4.83 per test. That is the formula to calculate. Then across 30 tests, your pupil made a combined total of 14 serious fault. That is average 0.47. And then 30 tests, examiner took the action in 3 driving tests, and that is the ratio about 10% of that. Then in total, 18 tests are passed, 12 tests are failed, and the pass rate becomes 60%. So you will not need to take the standard check test because only the one trigger out of 4 is met. So you are still okay. It can happen to anybody. So you are still kind of safe. You still go one time in 4-year period, but your call out will be a bit late. You are still safe. So now other example where 2 triggers are met now. So let's say you take 20 students in the test in 12 months time. Out of 20 tests, your student did about 95 minor driving fault, which is about 4.75%. Then 20 tests, your student make about 12 serious mistake, and the average become 0.6. And then 20 tests, examiner only take action for 1 test only, and that is a 5% of that ratio. And then 8 tests pass, 12 fail, and then you have the 40% pass rate. You will not need to take the standard check because only the 2 out of 4 trigger have met. You're still safe. So see, what is the reason for you to remove the badge? I don't understand what you're trying to do. That is one of the stupid thing you guys are doing, removing your badge. You pay so much money to get the badge. You want to pass the part 3. You want to do a PDI. You want to work every day for your badge, and now you're removing the badge. I'm telling you, removing the badge, giving the hint to the examiner, your student is not ready, you don't believe your student, I don't care, fail him. So think, your pass rate is automatically going down, and think about your dignity. Even nobody is recording your pass rate, but you know your pass rate is going down. Everybody's failing. So first think of yourself. Make everything more like genuine for yourself. You're working for yourself, not for the DVSA. So think about your dignity first. Example number 3. 3 triggers met. So you took the 2 people, 30 tests in 12 months period. Out of 30 tests, 255 driving minor faults. Now 8.5% ratio. Then 30 tests, 17 serious mistake, 0.57%. Then 30 tests, 3 tests becomes a dangerous fault. Then that is your 10% ratio. And out of 30 tests, 18 passed, 12 fail. Then percentage of your pass rate is 60%. Now you will need to take the standard check because 3 out of 4 trigger have met. Now you have more chances to call out for your standard check. So now another example where all 4 are met. 20 tests total in 12 months time period. Out of the 20 tests, 120 driving faults in 20 tests in 12 months period. In 20 tests, 12 serious mistakes, which is 0.6%. And then you got 20 tests, 4 are serious fault where physically examiner have to took the action like dangerous fault, and percentage becomes 20%. And then 8 pass, 12 fail, 40% your overall pass rate. You need to go for the standard check because all the 4 triggers of indicators are met. So that is the scenario. So revise again everything. 4 indicators: minor faults, serious fault, dangerous fault where the examiner took the action, or overall pass rate. So you can record this in your Excel sheet or make yourself a simple diary, pen and paper, make 4 columns, right? That will record every result of your student from January to December. It's going to be a new start now for 2026. From January to December, 12 months period, record everything. Then you know that you already in the good pass rate. You know my student never done the dangerous fault. You know how many times a student failed because of the serious fault and how many minors in total in that 12 months period, so I can percentage myself. But you don't need to look every month. Record it from January, do it up till December, and then check yourself 2026 12 months. Then you know you are more likely to call out in 2027. So you got 12 months. So my advice, leave your badge in the car. That is your identity. Your client is paying you because of the badge. Otherwise he can go in Arlet Clark with his parents without the badge. Why you? Because you're qualified. You have the qualifications. Okay, so leave the badge, and you must display the badge as your instructor. So don't, if they catch out that you are not displaying the badge while teaching and you're charging them the money as well, so that means you're already breaking the rule. So the registrar can refuse you in the future to give you the badge. So don't fall down in any problem like that. They're trying to enforce this law. Maybe in the future there is no fixed day and time. I'm just telling you about this for the future. For example, they know this is a problem. People are taking the badge away. Managers are already telling the DVSA that instructors are taking the badge away, and we have no authority to tell them to keep the badge inside, because parents can go with the clients as well, and family member can go with the client, and they don't have the badge, so you can't justify. But they're trying that if you're coming with a driving school car with a dual control, they believe you're an instructor, they can see things in the car, they know you're an instructor, you come there every day. So in the future they maybe enforce you to show the badge and get the badge. So this is the explanation how the standard check trigger points indicators can trigger you. Total 4, and at least all 4 need to met, or 3 need to be met before you get triggered. So I hope you understand, and now you're going to be more relaxed. Don't worry about the standard check. As I said, everybody have to go for the standard check. Now or later or later or later. Everybody will go once in 4 years. So you can't skip it. You can run from it, run from your problem you mean, but you can't skip it. So if everybody have to do it, believe me, that is a good chance for you. If you pass your driving test part 3 in the B grade with 32 number, 31 number, 33, 34 like that, that is a good chance. Improve yourself, show yourself, call out for the standard check, go again, prove you are improved, and then get yourself a grade. Then this A grade they show in the DVSA website. When the student try to find out the local driving instructor by the postcode, they show you your grade sometime there as well, and that way you can prove it. I'm the A grade. That can bring you more business, and then you can prove I'm a good instructor with the A grade pass, and they can show you grades. You are 49 out of 51, 51 by 51, 48 by 51, 45 by 51. So you can prove. So I think it's better for you if you pass with the B grade, let your standard check come early as possible you can, then go again, prove yourself, take more CBD lessons from your trainers, and that way you can get A grade for the next time, and you are better off with your business. I hope you understand and like my advices, and be better working next time. And don't worry about the trigger points and standard check. Feel free, work freely, free state of mind, and try to improve yourself every day. So thanks to listening my tips and watching this video. See you next time.